tonight. I have 3 terrifying UK horror stories that sound impossible, but every single one of them is true. A man on a rainy motorway who should not exist. An empty flat that isn't empty at all. And a stranger who knows every detail of your home without ever stepping inside. If you think you can handle it, listen closely. Story 1. The Man on the M25. I live in Guildford, and this happened in the winter of 2018. It was a cold, rainy night around 11:30 p.m. when I was driving back from London. The M25 was unusually empty, and the only sound in my car was the rhythmic swish of the wipers and some quiet jazz music on the radio. As I passed Junction 8, I saw a man standing on the shoulder of the road. He was wearing a black hoodie, dark jeans, and was holding a small duffel bag. His head was lowered, rain dripping from his hood. Normally, I don't pick up strangers, but for some reason that night, I slowed down. I rolled the window down and asked, "Need a ride, mate?" He slowly lifted his head, and my heart skipped a beat. His eyes were completely black. No pupils, no whites, just darkness. I told myself it had to be a trick of the light. Without saying a word, he opened the passenger door. Casually, he spoke for the first time. One single word, home. Then silence. For the next 15 minutes, he stared straight ahead without blinking. When we reached the Reigate exit, I asked, "Which way now?" He slowly turned his head toward me, smiled faintly, and said, "You've already been there." I pulled over and told him, "I think you should get out here." He just kept smiling, and the next moment, the passenger seat was empty. Before I could process it, I looked into the rear view mirror. He was sitting in the back seat, his face inches from mine. His black eyes locked on mine as he whispered, "You shouldn't have stopped." The next thing I remember, I was parked in my driveway at home. The clock read 3:17 a.m., but the drive from the M25 takes less than an hour. I still don't know what happened to the missing time. Story 2. The flat above me. In 2021, I moved into a Victorian-style converted building in East London. It had 3 floors, 1 flat on each. Mine was in the middle, and according to the estate agent, the top flat was vacant, locked up for renovations. For the first week, everything was normal. Then, late one night, around 1 or 2 a.m., I started hearing noises from the flat above me. It sounded like heavy furniture being dragged across the floor. Screech! Thump! Screech! Thump! I thought maybe the builders were working late, but it happened every night, same time. One night, I knocked on the ceiling out of frustration. A few seconds later, 3 knocks came back. Thud, thud, thud. The next morning, I asked the building manager about it. He looked at me strangely and said, "That's impossible. The electricity's been off for months. No one's been up there." Still, the noises continued. Sometimes footsteps, sometimes faint humming. One night, it was so loud, I decided to go check. I climbed the stairs and saw The top flat's door was slightly open. I pushed it open and stepped inside. It was pitch dark, dusty, and clearly untouched for months. But in the living room, there was a chair in the middle of the floor. Sitting in it was an old woman, her face hidden in shadow. I lifted my phone to shine some light, and the chair was empty. Behind me, I heard footsteps. I spun around, and the door was closed. I ran back to my flat and locked the door. The noises stopped for a week. Then one day, I came home to find a fresh water stain on my ceiling, right where that chair had been upstairs. The stain's shape was the outline of a sitting woman. I moved out a month later. Whatever it was, I'm certain it wasn't above me. It was with me. Story 3: The Man in the Car Park. In 2019, I lived in Manchester. One Saturday evening, just before a shopping center closed, I headed to the car park. It was nearly empty, just a few cars scattered around. That's when I saw him. A man standing partially behind a concrete pillar, staring directly at me. No blinking, no expression. As I reached my car, he stepped toward me and smiled. A deal, right? I froze. I had never seen this man before. How do you know my name? I asked. Still smiling, he said, I've seen you around, at home. I assumed he must be a neighbor, though I didn't recognize him. I got into my car, locked the doors. He walked right up to my window and said, "That picture in your living room, the one with your parents, nice frame." My blood ran cold. That photo can only be seen from inside my home. I drove off, pretending not to hear. Days went by without seeing him, until one night at 2 a.m., I got a text from a light had been off. The next night, I checked my CCTV footage at 1:57 a.m. Just before the cameras went static, I caught a single frame, him standing at my front door. When the feed cleared, he was gone. The last time I ever saw anything from him was on a Sunday morning. In my letterbox was a folded piece of paper. Inside was a hand-drawn map of my house. Every room, every piece of furniture, and my bed circled in red ink. I took it to the police. After seeing it, one officer said, "This man was arrested 5 years ago, but he died in prison." I moved out immediately. But sometimes, even now, I feel like I'm being watched, and every time I think of the man in the car park,